Hey everyone, this is episode 1 of the Diz Unplugged Universal Edition. I'm Craig Williams.
And I'm Sean Thompson.
And we're here to talk about a little bit about what's happening at Universal Orlando right now. Universal's really made a push over the past couple of years to add so many new things, new elements, whether it's restaurants, land, attractions, and it's just grown so much to this point that on the Diz Unplugged podcast every Tuesday, we're actually featuring Universal more and more, and you know, we enjoy hearing about it.
Yeah, but everyone else hates it. They just want Disney. So
yeah, well, a lot of people don't necessarily like it. So you know, we kind of thought, why don't we have a new way where we can talk about it, maybe get into it a little bit more, because there's definitely people out there that care about it, including us. And you know, if you're one of them, thank you for watching right now, and if you're not, then I'm guessing you'll probably turn it off at right around now.
And hit the thumbs down button on YouTube. So
yes,
thanks.
Make sure you dislike everything we do on YouTube. That would be great. But, you know, personally for me, I love everything about Universal. I like the food, the attractions, the theming, even the Lowe's hotels, which technically aren't Universal, but Lowe's wanted to build them there. Even those are great.
Lowe's, the hardware store.
Yes, Lowe's, the hardware store. Yeah. Is there any other Lowe's?
No. All right.
But no, there's just so many great things at Universal, and I'm so excited to actually be talking about it. It feels good to have a forum where I can talk about it.
This is your soapbox.
It is. Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm sitting on a chair instead of sitting on a soapbox. But I think the more interesting aspect of it is you and your focus on Universal, because for a while there, I believe you either hated it or you really didn't like it.
Hate's a very strong word, but I am a relative newcomer to Universal. So the first time I ever stepped foot in the parks was actually at Dizapalooza in 2011 when we did the Wizarding World of Harry Potter Dizapalooza with the Diz. And that was a long time before I was ever part of the team. This was just, I was going for fun. And then I have now since gotten an annual pass, so now I can go whenever, and I've gone several times actually. But for me though, I don't really like the attractions that much, because I find myself getting sick on that type of ride, either really fast roller coasters or kind of the visual kind of motion simulator type things.
And that's a lot of what they have. But, I mean, it doesn't make me sick yet. Maybe one day. But
no, good for you.
You know, it was a really great story about how you found Universal.
Oh, isn't it great? Yeah.
It's touching.
It's going to be on an Oprah episode one day.
Honestly, I didn't even step foot in the park until the first day that I got my team member ID whenever I started working there. And that was my first experience to it. I loved it, but everyone seems to find Universal in a different way.
That's true.
But
it's like the greatest story ever told.
It is.
Well, so for me, I don't like a lot of the attractions. So you might be thinking, why do I like to go there? And I just love the theming.
Beer.
I think beer is the main reason. Springfield, I like to go to Moe's. And Hogshead and Harry Potter. However, I just like the theming.
Yeah.
I think that they do a very good job. It's in a lot of ways very comparable to Imagineering, and they do a fantastic job. I think sometimes people hear the name Universal and they kind of associate it with a lesser kind of experience, and I don't think that's true at all.
No, I was blown away the first time I walked in, and I didn't realize that it was going to be on that level, and it really is. It's everything that Disney had done. Universal did learn from that, but then, you know, they also one-up them. I don't think Cars Land would have been the place it is in Disneyland had it not been for the Wizarding World of Harry Potter and that immersion theming that really came into play there. But, you know, I'm sure at some point down the road we'll talk more about theming and all that. But this episode we actually have to get on to some news, and then later on we'll be talking about Red Oven Pizza Bakery.
This will be 4 hours long. So,
it will, 4 hours. So buckle in. It's go time. But no, right now I actually want to talk about some of the recent things that are going to be happening. Not news per se, but might be news for some of you. But the big thing that's coming up is the Wizarding World of Harry Potter Diagon Alley live webcast announcement on Thursday, January 23rd at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, if that's what EST means.
I think it means that sometimes,
It's abbreviations sometimes.
I think you weren't specific enough. I think it should be in the United States, the East Coast, the world, the universe.
I'm still trying to figure out what AM means.
Yeah.
To be honest, but one day I'll get there. But yeah, the announcement's happening. It's going to be hosted by James Phelps. He played Fred Weasley in all of the Harry Potter films, and this is all supposed to be bulk and details about what's going to be happening in Diagon Alley. Because right now we know a little bit, but we don't know a lot. If that makes sense, which it does. But
it does. It's the same thing twice, but it makes sense.
It does.
Yeah.
No. But it's happening. And one of the cool aspects is actually anyone can watch it from their computer. You have to sign up for it. So I don't know when the cutoff's going to be, but I would assume it's coming up because they need to get everyone registered and emails sent out. But it's not just for media, which normal events that happen like that would be only for media. This one, anyone can watch it. You can watch it. My mom, if you're watching, you can watch it too.
I heard she was going to live tweet it too.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
She
I'm so excited.
Tweet. I mean, she has a Twitter, but she follows, I think, you, me.
I didn't know she was on Twitter, actually.
She is.
Oh.
She's very sneaky. But
I'm going to find you, Mrs. Williams. That's not creepy.
Just a little bit. But yeah, I know one of the things you're most confused about it is why just James Phelps? Why not Oliver Phelps? I am confused
about this.
Why
but
not
it's funny.
Luna?
I feel like we've talked about this before. I just don't. I feel bad for the other brother.
Yeah.
What's he doing? He doesn't get to go and do a webcast.
I know it. Well, actually, am I completely wrong on it? In the final book, is it Fred or George that dies?
Oh gosh! First of all, spoiler alert. And you're putting me on the spot. I believe Fred dies.
Well, if Fred dies, then I guess it's kind of his retribution. He didn't make it through the final movie, so at least
Fred Weasley does pass away in the final Harry Potter, everyone. So
sorry, but Dumbledore's still kicking. Wow, this is just getting really bad.
Getting sad.
But no, we know certain things right now. We know that the London facade is up. Most of the scaffolding's down. It looks beautiful.
And they're moving crazy fast with it.
Super fast.
Yeah.
I mean, Jaws closed 2 years ago, I think now, and it just seems like yesterday that it started being built.
And on top of that, I feel like every time you go, you notice something different. Like even just on a day-to-day basis, you notice something's new and added.
Oh, I know, and you can hear construction sounds coming from that area from miles away. They're working around the clock to get this ready, and it's going to blow people away. One of the other things you can actually see right now, just a little bit, but blew all up, is the King's Cross station, which is going to house the Hogwarts Express and take people back and forth between the Diagon Alley and then the Hogsmeade.
And then it's going to go to the Hess station right off property, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
If you're familiar with the area, there is a stop where you can get snacks, fill up.
Right. Yeah. It's like the little food cart lady that is on the Hogwarts Express.
I think trains need gasoline. They don't use any other source.
Yeah, especially Hogwarts Express.
I mean, hopefully we'll find out how the train actually works in the live webcast, but otherwise we're
I hope they go into all the technical details.
I need it.
Yeah,
I need it. But we're also gonna find out what's happening in Diagon Alley actually, besides just the Gringotts ride that's kind of been announced, but no big details about it yet. Leaky Cauldron, we know that's gonna be the big food location there, and I don't believe they said anything about Ollivanders yet, but it would only make sense since the original Ollivanders is in Diagon Alley, and right now the one in Hogsmeade is kind of...
It's their outlet shop.
It's the outlet shop.
Yeah, it's the premium outlet version.
And, there's tons of Brazilians that show up there on the weekend to shop.
Yeah, it is true.
But, yeah, besides that, hopefully they actually shed some more light on what else is going to be there, because it's such a huge area. There's got to be more. They didn't really get into any of the shopping. There's going to be more dining than just Leaky Cauldron. They've got to have stands set up here and there. We still have no idea what's going to happen with ticket details, and if you need a 1-day pass, a 2-day pass.
That's kind of a gray area right now.
Park, what's going on. So it's going to be big. If you haven't signed up for it, you get on it if you want to watch it live. If not, we will be tweeting about it. We'll be posting stuff to Facebook, I'm sure, writing blogs, all that fun stuff that we normally do for everything. And, I'm excited for it.
It's going to be nice.
It's been in my calendar since literally the day they announced it. It's impressive.
It's been the only thing in there.
It's been like a month.
Yeah.
2000. I've been putting stuff in for 15, not 14.
Oh, you're planning ahead.
It's real smart.
Yeah.
But after the webcast announcement, it's just a normal Thursday. nothing out of the ordinary, but
must see TV on NBC. I mean,
exactly.
Yeah.
Hopefully Parks and Rec doesn't get canceled.
Oh, stop. Yeah.
It's all NBC Universal. It all works
it
together.
Does, yes. We'll have our Parks and Rec recap on it every Friday.
I'm excited. But no, the live webcast also kind of kicks off the celebration of Harry Potter weekend that's going to happen starting on January 24th and running through the 26th. With, as we already mentioned, James Phelps will be there, and his brother Oliver will also be there. So we can get both Weasleys in one place, but not Ron.
Aren't they like the twins from Escape to Witch Mountain? They have to be together.
Yeah, I think that's actually their next movie.
I think
even though that doesn't work, because isn't one a boy and one's a girl?
Oh, yeah, one's a boy and one's a girl.
Okay, well...
And they put their hands together and they glow purple.
I'm sure they can figure that out. But
it'll be a reboot.
Also, Evanna Lynch is going to be there.
Who is Luna Lovegood.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you haven't seen, I think, the last 3 movies, you have no idea who she is, but she's cool. She's been to a couple events before. James and Oliver, they've been to basically every event that Universal has done for Harry Potter. So if you've been to one before, this is nothing new, but it's still very exciting. Anytime, the actors from the movie step in the parks like that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You don't see it every day. And right now it's saying that it's complimentary with your admission to attend some of these things. You have a full list of what's happening. The one thing that isn't complimentary is a big party on Saturday night, I believe, the 25th, and that you needed to book a room package ahead of time. They sold out long ago. There's absolutely no way of getting into that at this point if you didn't already
just
do
crash
it. So,
it, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, that's about it. But I believe that's also breaking and entering.
All right, don't
or
do that.
Trespassing, one or the other. But
I have to see Luna Lovegood.
I know, but that's good news. She's going to be at some other things. So
chin up.
What is happening besides the party?
Yeah, so it's over the course of 3 days, right? The 24th through the 26th.
Yes.
And there's kind of a bunch of panel discussions that they're having. And just to read through those kind of quickly, there's a Harry Potter tribute, which is going to kick off the whole celebration weekend, and it's going to have a lot of cast members there. So this is where Luna Lovegood will be.
Exciting.
And the Phelps twins.
Yes.
It is exciting. I think it's really cool that you get to see them. You also get to meet Kazu Kibushi, who is the artist that did the rebooted version of the covers. So for Scholastic, they did paperbacks.
Yeah.
So they're not like the Mary Grand Prix illustrations that we're familiar with the hardcovers. And even they did another paperback version of hers.
Yeah.
But these are kind of the new ones they're rebooted for kids that don't understand it, I guess.
Yeah. I only look at the pictures anyway. So
I know you don't read the words.
It's perfect for me.
Well, and not to take anything away from him, the illustrations are beautiful. And the new covers are great.
They are. Yeah. I mean, if I was young and I had time to reread the books and money that I can just steal from my parents, I would probably buy them again, but that ship has sailed.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. But
what else is happening?
It'll be cool to see him. My Life on the Harry Potter film set. This is like a Q&A with the talent. So those 3 actors that will be there, you get to ask them weird questions.
Yeah.
Dueling demonstration and wand combat masterclass with Paul Harris. This is an interesting one because Paul Harris actually choreographed the epic battle scene in Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. So he's going to be there to kind of like run through that, and I think people get to do it on their own.
I just hope that there's not a bunch of little kids running around screaming Avada Kedavra.
I think there will be. So I don't know. I said that this is kind of on the fence. It either could be amazing, and you get to see a lot of insight into the filming and how it was kind of, I guess choreographed is the right word, even though it's not a dance, but it's still really.
Oh no, it takes a lot of effort, especially when they're running around. Like
absolutely.
Yeah, I totally get it. Yeah. I'm excited for it. Like I said, I hope it's not just comes down to a bunch of people running around screaming spells and then like someone saying Sectu Sempra and another person gashes themselves open. But it could be interesting. It's definitely one that I'll try to attend, like all of them. But what else is happening?
So then there's a look behind Pottermore.com, which is that interactive website where you can log in and kind of like be in the world of Harry Potter. Yeah. I don't have any experience with that. It seems very time consuming.
Yeah, for me, it's just another, if I was still 16 and I had summers off and didn't have to work year round.
This is making me think that you hate your life right now.
No.
Okay, so then there's going to be a look at the prop design of the Wizarding World of Harry Potter and how they brought the films to the theme park.
Very cool.
So this is going to be cool. is Eric Baker and Alan Gilmore, who were the set designers. So that's going to be really cool to see how they took that.
Absolutely, yeah.
And then my favorite is going to be the graphic design for the Harry Potter films with Mina Lima.
I think that's
they're the graphic design group that did almost all the print work and design work for the movies. They did the Marauders map, the Daily Prophet, all the signs with Sirius Black's face on it. Basically anything that is in the movie that is kind of like a designed asset.
Yeah,
they did. So it's really cool, and I hope they have some examples that they did, and I get to talk about the process.
Yeah, and the only thing I can really hope about that is that everyone's going to be so focused on trying to see the actors, and they get so excited about that. Then whenever it comes down to this presentation,
it's not a madhouse.
I don't have to wait in line very long. I can get right up front to see everything clearly. I mean, that's kind of the thing that we do. We love graphic design. We like cool things like that. Not that to take away anything from the actors, but this is something that you just don't get to see in person that often.
Well, and the thing is, all these things that they've designed are so iconic, and we associate them so much with the film.
I know.
And especially if you grew up reading the books or you read the books before you saw the movies, they had the job of kind of taking that to life.
Exactly.
And so that's huge.
Yeah.
And it's stuck with us. So.
And they didn't screw anything up unless they show some of the things that they wanted to do with it, and they didn't. But I'm excited to see whatever they have to do. And then there's also going to be like a giant expo, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're going to have little kind of booths. It says, actually, it's going to be in Soundstage 33.
Okay.
So do you know which one that is?
I don't know which one that is.
All right.
I'm guessing it's one of the ones that they use for Horror Nights.
Yeah, probably.
So there's so many there.
It says that it'll include booths and exhibits that will give guests deeper insight into the various manifestations of the Harry Potter series. So there's Scholastic will have one, Pottermore will have one, Mina Lima will actually have a booth here at this expo. So that's great.
Cool.
Yeah. Hopefully they sell stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure they will.
Yeah,
I mean, when is a theme park ever afraid to try to sell people things?
Never.
That's
the answer.
Yeah. Well, I know we'll be there. So as long as you're following us on Facebook, Twitter, our blog, as long as you get updates from us, you're going to see everything that's going on that weekend.
And we are oversharers. Yeah. In a good way.
The only way I can imagine that you've seen nothing from it is if they tell us to leave. But hopefully they're nice.
Yeah.
So
that's sad.
But no, just keep an eye out for any updates. But that's all we have about the Harry Potter weekend. And then if you tune in to our next episode, which will hopefully be bi-weekly on Wednesdays, so in 2 weeks from now, we should have a better recap about everything that we experienced and everything that we know at this point. But for now, we're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to talk about CityWalk and the Red Oven Pizza Bakery. The Diz Unplugged Universal Edition is brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel, experts at helping you plan the perfect Universal trip. Whether you stay on-site at one of the world-class hotels or in need of theme park tickets with round-trip transportation to and from Walt Disney World, visit them on the web at www.dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. So a lot's happening at the parks right now, but with everything going on there, so much more is going on at CityWalk, actually. As of January 1st, a lot of CityWalk locations have been closed permanently, including Pasta More, Cigars, TCBY, and Katie's Candy Company.
Where will we get the country's best yogurt? Menchie's is the answer.
Well, and funny enough, that's actually going to be going basically right where TCBY was.
Yes.
But along with that, also the bread box is going to be going right up there where Cigars was. I know a lot of people were sad that that's leaving because it was like one of the only places to get a beer and relax and have it more like a bar atmosphere at CityWalk. But, you know, there's still other places to go. CityWalk is an entertainment destination where you can go to clubs, you can go get food, you can shop, you can do lots of stuff there.
You can get T-shirts with these light up things that are really annoying in the dark.
They are, and they blast the music around, and it's bad. It's one thing that they need to calm down.
There's so many things you could do at CityWalk.
I'm guessing people are buying them, or they wouldn't keep them there.
Yeah. But
you know, everything's like flying at CityWalk right now. We had a media event back in December where we learned about a lot of things. And one of the big new restaurants coming is Antojitos, which should be opening up very shortly.
Yeah.
They're starting to staff up and get everyone trained, and the facade is completely done, and if you haven't seen it yet, it looks like an old Spanish style mission.
It's huge. The building itself is gigantic.
Except the catch is it looks like someone threw up every single color all over it.
It looks as though the building itself were tie-dyed, or it was like in a paintball battle.
Exactly, but it's still a beautiful location. Yeah. So it's going to be exciting to see the food that comes out of there.
It's pretty.
But one of the things that is open that replaced Pasta More's quick service location was actually the Red Oven Pizza Bakery. And we actually had a chance to eat there the other night. It has been open for a while.
I think since November, yeah.
Yeah, since November. I believe November 17th was the official opening of it. Like I said, it replaced Pasta More's quick service, and then now Pasta More's full service is closed to make way for Vivo, the new Italian restaurant, as well as the Cowfish, which is a mixture of burgers, sushi, beer, milkshakes.
I think that will be the shining star of CityWalk.
I think it will too. But at the same time, one of the things we mentioned, not to go off topic, is that whenever we were looking at all CityWalk, Antojitos just stuck out.
Yeah,
like not in a bad way, but just a great way.
The height of it, I mean, it's as tall as Margaritaville and Emerald's. We could see it in the distance, like even if we were across CityWalk.
Yeah, and it's out there. It's going to be good. Cowfish, I'm sure, is going to be amazing too. I really want to drive up to North Carolina just to check it out.
Yeah,
hopefully. I find a day off where I can just be crazy and drive that long.
Yeah, for 12 hours.
Yeah, right now the only thing open in the new expansion area of it is the Red Oven Pizza Bakery. At the media event that we talked about, we actually got to sample, I believe, 2 pizzas.
We did. We got to sample them, and we also got to do this like weird walking tour of the actual kitchen, and I felt like it was a food safety violation.
Exactly. I mean, if you haven't noticed, there is video running of our experience the other night whenever we ate there, as well as whenever we took the tour through there, and they really let us get in there.
They're making the pizzas right there. The ingredients are all laid out, and we're just right back there with cameras awkwardly walking by.
And I had a terrible head cold that day. I'm pretty sure I sneezed
on everything.
So if you got sick right around sometime in December, I don't know when, it was because of me. But yeah, first we got to try the margarita pizza and the prosciutto and arugula.
Mm-hmm. Both were fantastic. So just for an idea, the price range for this ranges anywhere between about $12 to $14 per pizza. And the pizzas are kind of what I'd say are a mix between individual size and sharing, maybe like a 1.5 portion.
Yeah. I mean, whenever they first came out and we saw them, I think we both agreed that it was closer to an individualized or individual style pizza. But then after about 3 slices, just the ingredients that they can put on some of these, it turns into looking more like a medium.
And they're hearty too because they're the really fresh dough. Yeah. And when they bake it in the oven, it's just it puffs up and it's so good, and it's like the perfect mix of like soft on the inside but then like crunchy on the outside.
Oh yeah, and I mean from there anywhere between $12 to $14 for a pizza, right?
Yeah.
And it's really not a bad deal whenever you think about it. If you're going with a family of 4, I would probably get 3 pizzas.
I would say so. That's depending on how much they eat.
Yeah. So that's going to cost you around $50, less than that after drinks and if you want anything else. They also have 3 salads that are available there. I know the caprese.
Yeah, they have a caprese and an arugula and a classic Caesar. Yeah. And those are either $9 or $11. So and I mean, they're
expensive, but they look like one salad.
I think 2 people could comfortably order 1 pizza and 1 salad.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
Share those 2 things and have a nice meal.
Yeah, it would be wonderful. And it isn't the cheapest thing in the world, but the key to Red Oven is how fresh everything is. You see them just tossing the dough, making the dough right there beside you whenever you're ordering, and then you watch them put the ingredients on, and then they stick it in the oven that you can actually see from the seating area. And the oven can get up to 1,400 degrees, I believe, but they cook it around 900 to get that perfect toast to it. But it is so fresh, and you literally see it all happen in front of your eyes. And it's kind of, the restaurant itself is cool because it reminds me a lot of Be Our Guest at the Magic Kingdom for quick service, or during the daytime for the lunch hours, because you do go up to the cash register and you order what pizza you want, and you get it that way. But then they give you a little buzzer, and then they bring it right to your table, kind of the same way you do at Be Our Guest, which I like that because it is a quick service restaurant, but it almost feels like a sit down too. There's not a big chore in like standing there waiting for your pizza to come out, because obviously it can't. But I loved it. I can't wait to go back again. But let's actually talk about the pizzas that we ate there.
Yeah. So we had 3 pizzas. It was just the 2 of us, so we kind of over-ordered.
I look a little heftier today, but that's because I've had almost 2 full pizzas since I got to take home the leftovers.
All right. So basically we got the Fennel sausage pizza, which is a white pizza, which has panna, mozzarella, ricotta, sweet fennel sausage, scallions, and red onions. Yeah. And that is $14. We also ordered the Bianca Pizza, which is just the white pizza. So it has mozzarella fontina, sodo cineri. What is that? I don't know what that is.
I don't know.
Sage. The sage on this pizza was actually very good. It was kind of like fried and crispy.
Yeah. Oh, no. It almost like tasted like mint leaves or something when I've had them that way in specialty drinks. But I've never had sage like that.
It was really good. And then we also ordered the fungi, which is just the mushroom. Fungi is the Italian. Actually, I'm Italian, so please don't correct me.
Well, clearly I am too.
Mushroom medley, red onions, fontina, mozzarella, San Marzano tomatoes, thyme, roasted portobello, and white truffle oil emulsion.
And I guess one of the things I forgot to mention is that with the pizzas, they have it split into 2 categories. They have white and then they have red sauce. Yeah. And do you want to kind of list off some of the other ones that they had there?
Sure. Just to go back, I didn't mention the prices for the other ones. The fungi was $13, and then the Bianca was $12. So around the same price range. Yeah. For the whites, we have a prosciutto and arugula. The Bianca, the spinaci, which is a spinach mozzarella one. Pesto, fennel sausage, and those are the only white ones. Yes. And then for red, there's margarita, big eye pepperoni, an alabeno pizza, which actually sounds really interesting. It has prosciutto, pineapple, jalapenos, San Marzano tomatoes, and mozzarella.
And we probably would have tried that, except we wanted to see something that was a little more plain, like the fungi or the fungi.
I want to go back. I want to go back and try that pineapple jalapeno one.
Yeah, it's so interesting.
Yeah, and then the melanzane pizza. Yeah. So that's eggplant and vegetables and stuff. And then there's the mushroom. Yep.
And then I also believe, I didn't see any signs while we were there, but I've heard that you can actually make your own if you're kind of afraid to try some of them.
I wouldn't see why not. Yeah. Because the ingredients, like I said, are just all out on the counter. So it's not like they're pre-made. Yeah. So if you had said, I want this one, but I don't want the jalapeno on it, maybe do that.
Exactly. And it's first and foremost a gourmet pizza. It's not your basic pepperoni. They do have a pepperoni one, but they just don't have a cheese with red sauce. So if you're going there, definitely expect to be a little more adventurous with it. Just don't go in saying like, oh yeah, I want a plain pizza. It's going to be good, but definitely go out of your comfort and try something. The fennel sausage, it's absolutely one of my favorite pizzas of anywhere.
I was torn between the Bianca and the fennel sausage because I love the white pizzas. I'm not a huge fan of red sauce on pizza. But I actually think the fennel sausage probably was the best one we had. Yeah. It's unbelievable.
I can't stop thinking about it. I ate it for breakfast.
This is going to be the sequel to Her. It's Craig Falls in Love with a Pizza.
I did. And unfortunately, I had to part with the pizza too. But it will long be remembered in my stomach and in my taste buds.
All right.
But my favorite pizza outside of Red Oven now is I enjoy mellow mushroom. I'm not really a big fan of Pizza Hut or Papa John's chains, places like that. I do love mellow mushroom, and I like a lot of their creative pizzas. That's what Red Oven reminded me of. But, I mean, hands down, you can tell the difference with how fresh everything is here. And I know I keep going on and on about it,
another great part is when the pizza's ready and out of the oven, it comes right to you.
Exactly.
There's none of this sitting on a counter getting cold, it comes right to you. Yes. And they tell you it's hot, and you can tell.
And literally, you watch them plate it, and then someone is always standing there waiting to take it. They kind of just continuously rotate it. And you can also get it to go, too. I saw a lot of people just getting bags handed out to them so they could probably take it back to their hotel, wherever they were staying.
Sit in the dark and eat it by themselves.
Yes. Yeah. I do that sometimes too.
Yeah.
But
who doesn't?
The only downside I could actually see to this place in terms of the food we've had, it's it's incredible. You know, I even like it more than Via Napoli.
Now you're getting fancy.
I know, but I enjoy it more than that, and that was probably my favorite pizza in Orlando. Up until
I've eaten
this.
Via Napoli a few times, and I love it. And they have a pizza there called the Carciofi, which is my absolute favorite pizza. It has artichokes and white truffle oil on it, and it's a white pizza too. So I don't know if it quite beats that yet for me.
I haven't experienced it a lot. I've only eaten there once, and I loved it whenever I ate there. But I think just because I've gotten to try more things here, right now, that's why it's at. I hope to go to Via Napoli again real soon. I know I keep saying that funny, but I just try to pretend.
No, you have to do this. Via Napoli.
Via Napoli. I'm not going to do that.
You didn't. Come on, I did it.
Yeah, but people might see me. Either way, I think if it's not my favorite pizza place in Orlando, then it's definitely like 1 and 2 with Via Napoli.
Yeah.
I don't think you can go wrong. I never even got to the issue. There's very limited seating there right now.
I wanted to mention the seating. It's all outdoor.
Yeah.
It is covered, so if it is like drizzling or raining, you're going to be protected, but there's no indoor seating. It's all outdoor. And it's kind of weird. There's like some high tops, like a bar kind of area.
Yeah.
There's some smaller ones. But it was kind of hard to find a table that was in the light. Yeah. And I don't know. You have a little bit.
I would say there was about room for maybe 75 people.
Okay, I wouldn't even guess.
That was just me taking a bold guess.
I don't trust that at all.
You know, we kind of went right in the middle of dinner rush at 6:30, and I half expected us not to get a table. Had we probably been about 10 minutes later, I think we would have definitely been waiting to find a place.
Time. Yeah.
And, you know, a lot of people seem to sit there and actually enjoy their pizza, take time. It's not like they're just kind of eating real quick and then moving on to the next thing. It's good, and you want to sit there and enjoy it.
No, it was enjoyable. Yeah.
At the same time, you know, if you see someone that's waiting for a seat around you, you might want to be nice and ask for a box to go. Or I mean,
I don't think there was any problem. No one felt rushed. I think it was very comfortable.
No.
Drinks, they had all kinds of soft drinks.
Yeah.
They had fancy waters like the San Pellegrino, whatever.
Yep.
And then they had 4 beers on tap,
Yeah.
which I thought was nice. And you could also get wine. They had some house wine there.
Well, and it was funny. The beer was served in like IKEA glasses.
Yeah, it was
the
like
only
plastic.
reason I know that is because one of my old roommates actually had the same exact glass that these were served in. It's legit.
Was it glass or was it kind of plastic?
It was glass.
It was just so thin, and
Yeah.
it looked like a vase. It was tall. Yeah.
I mean, just go there and you'll see it right away. But you know, it was $7 I think for a beer there, but it was a great pour.
It was an Italian. Yeah, it was a huge pour.
Yeah.
And we got the Italian one.
Yeah, we got the Peroni, but
Yeah.
I just have the highest recommendation right now for Red
It was
Oven.
great. And I like the location. It's really easy to get to. It's right along the thing, so you could watch people walk by in CityWalk, which is always fun.
Yeah, and I mean, it's an amazing location. Watching the oven constantly cooking and then being able to see them make the pizza right there, everything just adds up to it's a great meal, and it's really not that overly expensive compared to other things. I think it was the perfect addition, and hopefully whenever Vivo opens up the full service Italian, it kind of complements it, and you get that nice little quick service pizza stand, and then you also have that great Italian restaurant next to it, and you know, Universal will just be set on Italian. But do you have any other thoughts on it?
No, I don't think so. I think we covered everything. It was really good pizza. I would definitely see this as some place where I would stop either on my way out of the parks, and like you said, to get it to go. Mm-hmm. It's that good. I mean,
even I know at certain times with my parents, whenever we've gone, we've taken a break at lunch to go to CityWalk.
Yeah.
And you know, I think that would also be a great time to eat there too.
Maybe even when you're switching parks, if you like spend the morning in Universal, go over to Islands of Adventure.
And as far as I know, it's open until 2 a.m. along with all the clubs. I'm sure they stopped serving food at about 1, but you know, if you're going there to have a good time and you need a little late night snack, it's definitely a good place to check out. But I think that's going to do it for right now. And we will be back again to talk about the live webcast of Harry Potter and the Diagon Alley.
Absolutely.
That's not a real thing. I just kind of screwed up the title.
That's okay.
But no, we'll be back with that and talk about the celebration weekend, and you know, just
follow us on Twitter and read our Facebook updates, because we'll be talking about it when we're there.
Yep.
And we'll have a link actually if you want to try to still sign up for the webcast. So we'll have that in the description. And then other than that, just look out for our updates in our next show.
Perfect. So hope you enjoyed this, and stay tuned. There will be more coming up, and thank you for taking the time to watch us.
Thanks. Bye.